What's up, guys? It is Mason of Delphina here today with GameXPLAIN to discuss the Nintendo Switch. Next month, we have the Nintendo Switch releasing. All the information, at least, and the speculation has finally come to a close, almost. So, real quick, Andre, Ash, how are you guys doing today?
Doing pretty good, thanks.
Doing great. I get to talk about the Switch, so
Yeah.
I'm doing all right.
Because that hasn't been happening anytime recently, has it?
No,
Not
this
at
is
all.
the first.
Yeah,
No.
never talked about the Switch.
I know, it's just crazy. It's the unfolding process has been unreal. Like, since last March or something like that is when they finally said, hey, we have a new system, and it's like, it finally got revealed in October, and the wait has just seemed like forever.
It feels like forever ago, even though, as you mentioned, it's only been, a year and a half. I feel like we've been talking about it for at least 2 at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like just every day. There was a period for like 6 months that every day a new rumor would pop up, and it's like, This is just getting crazy. But, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think about it? Just like your initial thoughts.
Do you wanna take it, Ash, first?
Sure. I remember it wasn't that long ago that we were still all calling it the NX. Like, it took us forever just to get the official name of the thing.
We still do occasionally.
I know. I think the first discussion we recorded after the official Switch trailer or the Switch reveal trailer was released, we were all still calling it the NX because we're so used to it. But I think toward the end there, I think we were all starting to feel the burn a little bit. We were all starting to get a little frustrated with the fact that every day, as you said, Mason, there was a new rumor popping up that was usually false, but like Derek especially, who's not here unfortunately today, he was getting so annoyed toward the end, like, I just want to know what the thing is. I want to know what it's called. I want to know what it actually does. I'm sick of these rumors. It's like every day there's something new to keep in mind that's probably false, and there is so much hype. But now that it's weird. It feels like it's still a ways away, but really, it's only a month, this Switch event.
A month from the day we're recording this, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. It's only a month away exactly, and then 3 months after that, the thing's here. So it still feels far away to me, but it's actually not.
Actually, only 2 months, Ash, after that point, potentially.
After that point, you're right. So 2 months later, 3 months from here, yeah.
It is ridiculous, like, how fast it's kind of snuck up on us. I mean, like, we went from what felt like the longest period of nothing.
Exactly.
to a wave of rumors, followed by now basically being on the eve of finding out what it actually is for sure, followed by its release. It's kind of crazy.
Right. The thing for me was, like, every single tweet Nintendo would make or something, like, everybody would flood with, like, Nintendo NX, And it's like, everybody was going crazy, and they kept silent about it for so long. I'm surprised it didn't get leaked, because everything else they make gets leaked anymore. And, and it just shocked me. But, like, hey, we're going to talk about the NX on October 20th or something, I think it was, and everybody went crazy, and now it's like, it's so quiet, but people are just getting excited. So
It is kind of funny how most of the leaks seem to happen after the initial reveal. That's when the floodgates opened. Right. When, we start getting all the other rumors, like from, like, Laura K. Dale, among other things. So,
right. Yeah. I mean, was it a good or a bad idea to wait so long after that, though? Like, it's like to wait that long to even announce a thing and then wait another few months to give the details in January.
That's tough. Like, I feel like that's something I can't say for sure until, for a few years from now even. Like, until we can have a better idea of, how things shook out.
Right.
At this point, it probably was a good idea. Like, the fact that there's now all this hype going into the system's launch. Like, just look at its appearance on Jimmy Fallon.
Right.
Like,
that was
how well
thing.
that worked. So, as much as it begrudges me to say it, I think it is working out for them. Again, I can't say for sure until down the line. But in the moment, it sucked. Like, as a Nintendo fan, that was a rough year and a half, I feel like, with knowing nothing for sure about the system.
And there's the other point, too, is that, it might be a good thing just because I'm surprised at how little time it has felt that the Wii U has kind of been dying. Like, Paper Mario Color Splash came out in October, and I was thinking back then that it was going to feel like an eternity until I was playing, mainly playing my Nintendo console again. Mm-hmm. But here we are, 3 months out from release, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't actually feel like the Wii U has been dead all that long, so maybe it was a good idea for them to wait as long as they did, because now we know we have this new system coming in 3 months, basically, and it doesn't feel like we've had to weather the Wii U's lack of titles for all that long. Now, that said, I also have a PS4. I mean, if I only owned a Wii U, I might be feeling that burn a lot more right now.
See, that was me. I got so bored with my Wii U, I actually went out and got a PS4. Like, that was in May. I'm, like, known for never have ever, like, doing any of that, because I'm only Nintendo. That's what I grew up on, but I went out and got a PS4. I was just distraught. And, yeah, I love it, but I'm excited, after all of this stuff. Everything's dropped, and we have so many things to, like, speculate on. So it's like just a matter of a few days at this point, it feels like, to just learn about the thing. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, for the launch lineup though, that's another story. I mean, yeah, the hype has built itself up thanks to Nintendo waiting so long, but the games are really, in my eyes, what make the console so great. I mean, we have, how many games do we know that are like coming to the Switch? There's 3D Mario that got revealed in the trailer, Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart, Splatoon. I mean, there's just so much already.
Yeah, it seems like there are at least 4 first-party games officially, well, not officially confirmed, because Nintendo has said those may not be real games, even though I'm pretty sure they are.
Right.
So that's at least 4 first-party games we know coming to the Switch, plus whatever third-party ones, including those shown off in the trailer. So yeah, I mean, from what little we know already, it's already looking very promising.
Yeah, I mean, and let's not forget the total maverick in here, which is that Mario and Rabbids RPG that's apparently coming out as well.
No,
so there's that too.
I saw that video and I'm like, what is this? Because Rabbids is not a very, like, it's not something you would think would cross over with Mario at all.
No.
But I saw your guys' video and I'm like, is that a real? Like, because you guys were hinting at it a while before you actually talked about it, didn't you?
That's right. Yeah, we had heard about it a few days before, or sometime before it started, leaking out officially. And since then, too, Ubisoft put together some kind of, I forget what it was. I think some Rabbids anniversary video.
Right.
And in the background, like on the shelf, you can see Mario and Luigi wearing rabbit ears. So it seems like that's a pretty strong hint toward it actually happening.
It just makes it a lot more credible, and I think a lot of people thought it was a joke at first, but after that, they're like, it's Nintendo's very unpredictable anymore. I mean,
they are.
They used to be. So, I mean, yeah, we have things like 3D World that's just very, like, barely, I don't even know, you know what I mean? But it's just like, to see things like that pop up on the internet, you're like, is this real? Because everything else that we've seen about this doesn't seem very, like, plausible, and you just start to think about it, and it's overwhelming, really, how much we've seen. And so
I don't know. I think you have a few 3D World fans who are gonna want to know exactly what you do mean.
Right.
You're
Well,
like, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no. I just feel like 3D World. I'm excited for 3D Mario for Switch because in the few seconds we saw of that, I feel like it is a more expanded version of like what we used to play as Mario.
It looks like it goes back to the more kind of open-ended level design of like Super Mario 64.
Exactly, and that's what I like so much about it. I mean, we've only saw according to. I mean, I'm basing all this off of your guys' analyses because you do it so much better than anybody else. But
well, that's very kind of you. I really hope we don't lead you astray on this one.
No, well, according to that, what we saw was pretty much one level, correct?
That's what it looked like to me. It looked like one giant connected level.
One kind of world in itself. So to think that there would be a lot more things just like that, like all kind of just looped all together, it just seems like a cool thing. But that
has me excited, yeah.
Yeah, and like 3D World, that's what I didn't like about it. Ash, I'll just talk about this real quick since you brought it up. It's just like I felt like it was so linear in a way, and it
definitely was.
It didn't keep my interest. That's really why I didn't enjoy it as much as I would have liked to. But the exploration factor that like Galaxy or Sunshine has, even, it's just that's what speaks to me is that, and it's like I already played 3D Land. 3D World felt like a copy of that in a way. Of course, it's like a direct sequel, of course, but it's like. It felt too much of the same to me.
Yeah, 3D Land and 3D World felt like an exercise in taking the elements of 2D games and bringing them into 3D.
Exactly.
Which is something they literally felt like Mario 3, but brought into 3D.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
I mean, what about Mario Kart then? Do you guys think that's like an enhanced port? Or, we already saw King Boo in the trailer, which was shocking. And then wasn't there something about being able to use 2 items at once or hold 2 at the same time?
So
switch between items.
It was,
that's right.
Double Dash had that. So
damn right it did.
Exactly.
I don't know. You never know. But it's like I saw that. I didn't notice it until everybody else pointed it out, and I'm like, oh, that's true. I mean, it's just everything they're putting together. It is just so you don't know whether to feel like it's just a port or a sequel or what. Especially for Splatoon, I feel like that's just What do you think about it?
So, in terms of Mario Kart, I can see it going either way. Like, on the one hand, on the face of it, it looks just like Mario Kart 8 with a few enhancements. Adding a few new characters, adding that dual item mechanic, which we don't even know what the extent of that is. Like, is it literally just picking up 2 items and it works like every past Mario Kart game, basically, where once you drop one, or, you can hold one behind you, then you have another one in backup? Or is it where, like Double Dash, where you can actually switch between them? I feel like that trailer... it almost felt designed in a way to make you expect more, because they have a double item thing from Double Dash potentially. They have King Boo, which made his debut in Double Dash, and the entire trailer is on the Yoshi Circuit track, also from Double Dash. So I feel like they're unless they're trolling us, there has to be more to it than it just being a a slightly enhanced port.
Right.
But then again, it may not be, and in that case, I'd be a little bit disappointed if it is just an enhanced port. Regardless, it's good. Mario Kart 8 was a great game, and having that at Switch's launch, with or without, even at a bare minimum minor enhancements, is a good thing.
Right.
I'm hoping though they're going even farther and adding making it closer to Double Dash when it may seem like just at face value.
I think I don't know about making it closer to Double Dash specifically. I think that would be cool if they did, but I think they are going to add a little more than that, just because I think they realized that, yeah, a lot of people didn't buy a Wii U, but, quite at least a segment of their audience did. And they have to offer more than just Mario Kart 8 again and just Smash again to get people to buy in for the Switch versions if they already bought the Wii U version. So I think we'll see at least a little original content.
See, the whole Double Dash thing, though, there was some rumor, I forget who started it or who shared it, but it was apparently about battle mode, how it was new and improved, because everybody just despised the one Mario Kart 8 had. My favorite was from Mario Kart 64, but that's just me.
That is the standard for the series still, to me.
Right.
Or for battle mode at least.
And to think that they would bring something like that back in a way would be incredible, but you just never know. It just seems like there's so much more information, but it's so minimum. It's just speculation.
Yeah, I mean, right. So I guess tied into that rumor of the new battle mode is also, I think, 16 new tracks. So in a way, they're almost adding enough new content for it to be a new Mario Kart game, assuming those rumors are accurate. But it's still taking place within the Mario Kart 8 engine, so there is that level of familiarity already. So it's interesting, yeah. I mean, if those rumors are true, that's great. That actually sounds pretty cool. But at the same time, it's something we've already seen more of. Mario Kart 8 had that DLC, so I'm already used to new content from Mario Kart 8. But a new battle mode would be awesome. They really should fix that from Mario Kart 8. So
yeah.
Yeah, that would be one of the biggest glaring things that they could fix, was just battle mode. No one liked it in that incarnation. I don't know. I mean, it seems to me that it was just a victim of them trying to get the game out that May, because it clearly was not something that people wanted to play, and I feel like they had to have known that.
There was one awesome part of it, though, that I loved, and I hope they incorporate it into whatever this battle mode will be, and that's aerial combat. Because you could go on bombing runs in Moo Moo Meadows and just drop people bombs from above, and that was kind of amazing.
That is pretty cool.
I mean, I just feel like it was what can we do to just get this done? It looked rushed. And, I mean, the concept was rushed, I'll put it that way. It seemed rushed to me. But it looked great, because it's just Mario Kart 8, it has the same looks and everything. But just to think that it was something that nobody really enjoyed is a sad thing for Nintendo, because if they're trying to make a game, you want it to be fun. But hopefully that fixed something with the Switch. So, whether it is a port or a whole sequel itself, I mean, that's up to us to decide until the 12th, which we'll most likely see that, I'm assuming. But what about another one that's kind of random? Pikmin 4. Now, we've heard about that a long while ago. Miyamoto said something, it was at least a year ago, I would think, that it was pretty much done. And we saw, I think it was in September, maybe? Or it was the last Nintendo Direct. I don't recall when that was. But it was where they showed Pikmin for the Nintendo 3DS. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's Pikmin 4, but you never know. But I mean, where do you guys stand with that?
There's no way that's Pikmin 4.
Okay.
I mean, that's definitely a side project. I believe, Andre, what we've heard is that Pikmin 4 is not only coming, but it might actually be a reboot. Or a soft reboot.
Well, yeah, I think that was a Laura K. Dale rumor, right?
Yeah, that's the rumor that we've heard,
Yeah, maybe a soft, some kind of soft reboot. Or maybe a name alone. It may not be called Pikmin 4, it may just be Pikmin or something of that nature.
Right, but they want to drop the 4 from the title. Maybe just to kind of, lower that barrier of entry for people who haven't played the first 3 games, so they know they don't have to play the first 3.
Right.
Could be.
And I don't know. I mean, Pikmin was great, but I've only played Pikmin 3, so I can't really speak for the entire franchise itself. But I'm excited to see what happens, but the 3DS one looks okay, and I feel like I just got to give it a chance. But anyway, that's kind of getting off topic. But I mean, the library itself, from what we know so far, assuming all of those are real, it seems like it's going to do very well in the first year, I would think.
It seems
does.
like, it seems like part of the reason why the Wii U may have had a drought is because they were preparing all this content for the Switch.
Right.
Especially because, too, even the 3DS had some like first-party droughts in there too. It was just better covered up because there were already, there were still third-party games coming to the system, whereas the Wii U didn't have that so much. So it seems like Nintendo has been focusing their efforts on getting content ready for the Switch, and that's not even to touch on all the other rumors potentially, like Pokemon Stars as well that could be coming. So yeah, like I'm excited because this may be a one console or one Nintendo system future where they can put all their efforts onto a single platform, which should make it a lot easier for them to provide content on a regular basis.
Right.
Yeah, and they provided a lot of lip service to the idea of streamlining their development process. They, they've admitted many times during the Wii U era that they weren't necessarily prepared or as prepared for HD development as they thought they were.
Right.
Which is why we saw so many of the software droughts we saw for the Wii U. But they claim to have, figured things out over there and gotten more used to the HD development process. And given that we know, or given what we think we know of the launch lineup so far, that seems to be bearing out because already we have a stronger lineup than the Wii U had at launch. And it also seems like Nintendo, if the rumors pan out, are doing a much better job at courting third parties. I mean, we might have the Dark Souls trilogy coming to Switch. We might have there's something. Skyrim coming. So already the Dark Souls trilogy and Skyrim. If both those things pan out, that's pretty big. Now, of course, to be fair, Wii U also had Mass Effect 3 and Batman, Arkham City at launch, and that didn't matter at all. So,
hey, don't forget that was an unprecedented relationship with EA back then.
Yeah, unprecedented, right? Just like the one they had with Ubisoft.
Yep.
See, the thing with me is I feel a lot more optimistic about the Switch's third party than I did the Wii U's. Like back then, I hardly ever paid attention to the actual like third party, but it's always like, hey, does it have Mario? Yes, then I'm buying it,
Right.
But the Switch had, I think I counted all of them one day, all the third party companies that Nintendo was working with for the Switch in that screenshot they shared. And I think I counted like 58 or something. It was something insane. And to have that many people on board, or around there anyway, is insane. So I think that gives a lot of people hope in the very slightest. Just, maybe it's not as bad as we think it's going to be or something,
To play devil's advocate, though, I mean, they said that to a degree about the Wii U, and then third parties left because the Wii U wasn't making any money. So it really is incumbent upon Nintendo to make sure the Switch does do well at market, because if it doesn't, then the third parties are going to walk away again.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of thing I'm not going to fully believe until I see it. But at this point, I would say things are looking promising at the least. And if only, or if partially because of the reception so far from people in general. Like, people seem excited for this, which is something I don't recall anyone being excited for the Wii U.
Right.
So if that translates to sales, then the games will come.
Yeah.
Right.
And that list will look increasingly more accurate, or more of a foreshadowing as we move along, hopefully. So
right.
And Mason, I think you touched on something important there. That there are a lot of fans out there who are Nintendo fans out there who are only going to ask, "Does it have Mario?"
Right.
Yes. Okay, I'm buying it. And that's not who Nintendo needs to worry about, though. Nintendo hasn't ever had that much trouble courting their hardcore fans as long as they bring them the games they want. What they need to do is make this thing appeal to people who do care about more than Mario or just Nintendo IPs, and that's where Nintendo's had trouble lately. Mm-hmm. So that's the trick is getting people to care about the Switch. Getting non-Nintendo hardcore fans to care about the Switch where they didn't about the Wii U. That's the key here for Nintendo, I think.
Right, and the thing is, it's just like I've lost so much excitement with the Wii U. I got it and it was cool, and then it just kind of died down for me. And they made so many promises about no more game droughts, and of course, what happened? We got more game droughts and stuff. And eventually, it just became like, I don't even know. It just felt so redundant in a way to appreciate it for that. And that might not make sense, but in my head, it makes perfect sense. But
no, I mean, that makes complete sense. That is a quote. I'm pretty sure we heard Iwata almost verbatim say generation after generation. Like, we're done with droughts. We learned our lesson. Nope, right. Same thing happens every time. But I do think this does feel like a different Nintendo right now, especially with the fact that if it is a single system, or Nintendo's focusing on a single system. Like, that right there solves half their problem, I feel like.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like they're slowly making all the right decisions. Like, hearing that they put Nerd in charge of the Switch's Virtual Console. That's a right decision, because let's be honest, the Wii's Virtual Console kind of sucked.
Yeah.
So, putting Nerd in charge of the Switch Virtual Console already tells me they're doing something right in that space as well. So it does seem like Nintendo is slowly coming around to making all the right decisions to make this, or at least to give the Switch the best shot it's going to have.
Right. And Ash, you actually mentioned Virtual Console. Real quick, GameCube was rumored, like GameCube games on Switch. That is something that I've seen a lot of people ask of the Wii U even. And if they do that, I feel like that would be good. I think that would be a very big success.
Oh, hell yeah. That's something we've all wanted, I think, for years.
Oh, yeah. I'm all about having Metroid Prime on the go. And I know, Andre, you're all about having Super Mario Sunshine on the go.
Oh, God, why?
I'm never going to let it go. I love teasing you
every
about
Sunshine. Sorry, I guess, although, I mean, we should probably be careful here, because Master of Delfino does have a Sunshine sun in his logo. Right?
That is a good point.
It's okay. Everybody has their opinions, but it's cool to me to see them working this hard, trying to seemingly satisfy everybody, and I feel like they've done a lot better job of captivating their audience. They need to, get eyes on, rather than what the Wii U had. So the price was something that Nintendo, I think they really struggled with in terms of getting people to actually buy the system. I think that was something that nobody really took into complete factorization when purchasing it that did, because I feel like it was a waste of money for what it was. And I'm not saying I don't like my Wii U, but it felt like it was it was not powerful enough to compensate for the price. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you might be setting Ash Paulson off here in a few seconds.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say it's okay. I was just gonna say the the internal components of a console don't really mean a whole lot to me if the games look good enough. And for me, games like Mario Kart 8 and Wind Waker HD and Smash looked more than good enough. But I understand what you're saying. Like, hey, I mean, it's money. It has different value to different people. I mean, I feel like I got my money's worth out of the Wii U, but I can't argue with you. Like, the Wii U had a lot wrong with it. And I can't tell you you're wrong if you don't feel like you got your money's worth out of it. So, no, I hear you.
I suppose when you compare it to the other consoles, right, the Wii U has dramatically fewer games than the others. So if those games appeal to you, I can absolutely see the Wii U seeing like less of a value. And especially given the fact that the Wii U hasn't ever had a true price drop, I don't think. The only thing close is that they reduced the price of the Pro down, or whatever they call the Pro. Was it the Pro? No, it wasn't Pro. The higher SKU or whatever, the black one.
Oh, the deluxe.
The deluxe, thank you. They dropped that price down to the price of the basic, but then they got rid of the basic, so it wasn't really a true price drop. Like, you always could get a Wii U at that price.
Yeah.
And since then, they haven't dropped the price at all, because I feel like, and the gamepad is probably preventing that. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of that, yeah, the price, the price isn't as good of a value compared to the other systems. Yeah. But if you like Nintendo games, then it kind of is. I mean, where else are you going to play Nintendo games?
Right. If you like it enough, you're going to buy it. That's how anything is in life. And I mean, I'm going to buy it because I'm Mason. That's what I do. But like for things like the price, though, that's a very like sketchy situation for the Wii U, for what it was. And I know Nintendo has said multiple times they've learned from that situation. But you would like to think that's true, but have they really, there was a lot of things that they've said, they've kind of hinted at there being more to the Switch than what we know so far, right? I feel like maybe, I would think the safety net would be like $250, $300 at the most. But even that seems risky to me.
That's the exact range I would guess it would have to launch at, like 250 to 300. And I'm probably expecting 300. If they hit 250, I think that'd be fantastic.
Right.
I think it'll be I think it'll be the basic SKU comes in at 300, and if there is a second upgraded or better SKU, that will be 350. I hope they don't try to push it to 400 because that's too much. It will not. 399 is the upper. Well, no, 349 is really the upper limit, I think, for the Switch. 399, I think they could have some problems.
Right.
So you're predicting basically a complete mirror, or exactly what they did with the Wii U, 300 and 350.
I think so. I mean, I guess they could go 50 lower. I just wonder if they're going to sell their big new console for 300 at the highest configuration. That just seems like so aggressively low for Nintendo, but I would love to see them do it.
Yeah, well, there's a time to be aggressive. Now's it, right?
Yeah, I mean, they don't necessarily need to take a gain on every Switch they sell at first. I mean, they're going to be making so much money from Super Mario Run. They continue to make money from Pokemon Go and other parts of their business. I know they have refused in the past to sell consoles at a loss, but this might be the time to go back on that, at least temporarily, just so they can get people to buy in. And then they've got them in that Switch ecosystem.
Right. I don't know. I mean, you would like to think they have their head on straight with this. I think they, I have more hope than I did with the Wii U. But that was 5 years ago almost, whenever I didn't feel like, I'm a lot more involved with all the news and stuff than I ever was. And I would like to think that they have their head on straight, as I mentioned, but you never know. But time will tell. The 12th is the day we pretty much learned about the entire thing. So, it's a hype thing. I think everybody's excited for it.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, we're going to learn so much about the thing. But in terms of like a release date, now, it was supposed to release in 2016, I think. But it was in April they mentioned that Breath of the Wild was going to take focus at E3 and the Switch was going to be announced later this year or something. That made a lot of people angry. I know that, considering it was the year before Reggie said we would learn about the NX at the time this year. But it was a lot later than a lot of people anticipated, So
it is kind of crazy to think that a lot of us, including Ash and myself, I think, we expect to be playing the Switch right now. We just thought we'd have it in our house playing Breath of the Wild.
By like November 18th. Yeah, usually November 18th or November 21st is like, those are the big Nintendo release days every year. So, I think we thought we were going to be playing both the Switch and Zelda by now.
Right.
But, game development's a tricky beast. It's not linear. It's not easy. And, I'd rather than release it when it's ready.
I do love the idea that instead of playing Breath of the Wild on our brand new Switch, we're going to be playing Super Mario Run on our iPhone.
Yes, that's going to be amazing. But for a release date though, they said March now. That's kind of where they said it's going to release in that window, that area. So if you're going to go by Fridays, because that's normally when they release stuff like that, the games and systems and stuff. There's March 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, and 31st. I know that's really irrelevant. It's probably pointless to say, but maybe there's a very, very vague prediction that's gonna totally happen. No, for real, I don't know. But you would like to think they're gonna release it at a time where you would think it'd be the holiday season, because that's when people are out buying things the most. Because Christmas and
maybe they'll release it on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, that's true. It'll come with a green skin.
Get a special green one.
Yeah, green skin. Green Switch.
Yeah. Oh, that would probably look pretty slick. Actually,
that would be pretty cool.
Switches, the green Joy-Cons.
Right.
That would be pretty cool.
I think a lot of the fan recreations of like the design of it have been really cool to see. It would be super cool to see Nintendo pull something off like that and just have like customizable like interchanging skins on it, kind of. I think
Andre and I were talking about that earlier before a discussion about, or I think during a discussion actually, about how there's that blue Switch fan mock-up floating around out there. I want that. I don't want the slate gray Switch. I want a dark blue Switch. That thing looks so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Or if they themed it after like characters or just games themselves, it would be really cool. I think people like the 3DS for the new Nintendo 3DS faceplates. I think that would be something similar to that. Except it's this. And the Switch is a lot more hype right now, so I think that would obviously do better. But I don't know. Time will tell. And the Wii U is pretty much left in the dust at this point.
That's true. Although I will say, and I know Andre's probably sitting there rolling his eyes. He knows I'm going to say, I have to leave my Wii U hooked up for as long as it takes Smash to come out on Switch. I am not disconnecting my Wii U until Smash comes out on Switch. I can't. For me now, the Wii U is essentially the Smash and the Paper Mario machine.
Right.
So and it's gotta stay hooked up to my TV at least until I can play the newest Smash on my Switch.
And that's actually good that you mentioned that, because we actually forgot to touch on that. Super Smash Bros. Was rumored to launch on the Switch, like later on through I think it was launch window, right, or something in the first year.
First 6 months, maybe.
First 6 months.
It was something like that.
Yeah. Or the rumors that are going around. Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that said, do you think it's going to be a port, or because Smash Bros. Did amazing it was like the best selling between that and the 3DS and the series so far. I know there's only 5 at this point, including those 2, but they're practically the same game, so why not count them as one of the same? But do you think they're gonna add more characters or anything? Sakurai's been working on a new project, whatever that means. You just don't know if it's still Smash Bros. Or the poor guy's probably exhausted working on that if he still is.
I know, right?
I think he probably is. Didn't Eurogamer say something recently? I think Andre something about 2 new characters, or
at the least Source Gaming did. I don't know if Eurogamer.
Source Gaming. Okay, maybe not Eurogamer. Source Gaming. Source Gaming has been rumoring that there will be 2 new characters possibly. So that seems like a nice kind of cherry on top offering without having Sakurai go in and doing too much work.
Right.
And not just that too, it was rumored that it would be basically a combination of a 3DS and Wii U game. So you'd have all the stages, or presumably all the stages in the 3DS one, along with the Wii U one in the Switch version, on top of 2 new characters as well. So I think that makes sense.
That would make so much sense. I actually did not hear about that, but that is an incredible idea.
Right, isn't it?
That is.
I actually thought that would be too ambitious. I didn't think they would even think about bringing all the 3DS stages to Wii U, but that's what the Source Gaming rumor says. And if so, guys, that's like 90 stages in one Smash game. Like, I'm so down with that.
That's ridiculous.
That's to me, that's more exciting than 2 new characters, because I already got Mega Man, so whatever. They can add whoever they want. To me, having all those stages is like the best.
Yeah.
Right. I have no clue. I mean, I'm excited for the future, and I mean, it's looking good. You know, I know I just started like 52 times there, but that's besides the point. So I'm excited to see what they have in store. And I mean, what else haven't we touched on? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Well, I guess just one of the concerns, I suppose, with like all these potential games is that a lot of them are ports to some degree, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in that sense, it kind of works out in Nintendo's favor that the Wii U didn't sell that many, in that these games will largely appeal to potentially a new demographic, assuming Nintendo can expand upon it. But for Nintendo fans who did buy the Wii U, it does raise a question of, like, is there going to be a lot of new content for us there at launch?
Right.
So it kind of comes down to, partly how new are these ports going to feel. In the case of Smash Brothers, I feel like that's going to be, that's largely going to feel like the same game we've already played.
Right.
Mario Kart could go either way. I mean, I'm leaning toward that also being more of a port, but if they add 16 new tracks, as rumored, that is effectively a new Mario Kart right there. And then with Splatoon, that to me, like, we've heard of that being an enhanced port as well, but looking from what we've seen of it, that looks almost like a brand new game. Like, they're redoing a lot, like, it has new animations, new weapons, a new map. So I hope that all these ports, do feel like new experiences, or at least as much of new experiences as possible. And if they pull that off, like as you've said earlier, Mason, that this could be an amazing launch. And add to that, a potential new Mario game at launch, maybe. I think right now the rumor is Mario may be at launch, and then Zelda might follow shortly after. And if that happens, like that will be incredible. Although I'm still in the camp personally. I see Zelda either being a launch or being a holiday title. I don't see it coming in between those two. So
right, it's one of the
I hope I'm wrong, because I want Zelda sooner than later, but I really would be surprised if it misses launch. I don't see it coming until holiday.
I know.
Oh, he keeps saying this. Drives me crazy.
Well, the thing
Don't
is,
put that out there.
Yeah, the thing about Zelda right now is that Amazon, I actually forgot to mention this too while we were talking about it, they took away, as of the day of this recording, they canceled pre-order, they took away the ability to pre-order the game.
Oh really?
Yeah, it shut out, and like you can't do anything with that now because like the Wii U version, you're just not able to like see.
Oh, Wii U, you're talking about how the Wii U version pre-orders went up today, right?
It might have been that. It was. I saw some.
Yeah.
I just barely looked at it, so I might be wrong. But I was just leaving work and I looked at my phone and I'm like, whoa, because it just kind of. What if it's not even coming to the Wii U at this point and stuff? I feel like they're too far along with the game anyway, though, on both systems to be able to just call it quits on it.
It's definitely coming to the Wii U. You don't have to worry about that.
No, I just saw that. It was something that kind of piqued my curiosity. But I don't know. I mean, are you guys excited for the launch? You ready to see what it's all about?
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm all about it. Let's do it.
I mean, January 12th. It's coming soon. But it's crazy. It's coming soon, guys. But
it is. I mean, it's still like we're only a month away now when did we find out about this? I guess a little over a month ago now. Like
yeah, I think a little over a month ago, and it hasn't felt as long as I thought it was going to. Like,
yeah,
same here. It's already next month. Okay, cool.
So
we're already more than halfway there, just to knowing more about everything about the system. Yeah, like this is exciting times. Like things are picking up now. The pace is picking up. Like before long, we'll be playing it for ourselves, like at home or on the go, wherever you want. That's the appeal of the Switch.
Right. I mean,
yeah,
it's been a long enough wait, really, I would like to think. But I think Nintendo's confident. I think they finally have their heads on straight. So, I mean, one can hope. So, is there anything else you guys want to mention before we close this out?
I think I pretty much touched on everything that I wanted to.
I think we covered it pretty well. I don't really have too much else to add. I guess the only minor thing I would touch on is to go back to something you mentioned earlier, Mason, is if we wanted to give a prediction for release date. I'm predicting, to get back to your Friday thing you mentioned, because it probably is launching on a Friday.
Right.
I would guess it's going to come out toward the end of the month.
Right.
So my guess is either I had the dates up here.
The 7. There's this.
The 24th or the 31st.
31st.
And if I had to choose, I would guess maybe the 24th. 17th is possible, but 24th is where I would put my money on probably. Although, if Mario is a launch game, then of course March 10th would be perfect, but that's Mario Day, so...
Okay. Oh, yeah, that is true. That's a very good point. But I don't know.
Well,
it's crazy.
Loath as I am to agree with you, Andre, I actually think March 24th seems pretty likely too.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because I keep going back to that announcement Nintendo made of their financial forecast meeting, where they said they wanted to have 2 million Switches sold by the end of the fiscal year, which is the end of March. And 2 million isn't really that impressive a number if this thing comes out toward the beginning of the month. In fact, it's a pretty anemic number. So I'm thinking it has to come out at the earliest, the 24th, just so that 2 million looks somewhat impressive if they manage to hit that.
Yeah, and that's why I don't think it would launch on the 30th, because if they sold 2 million in a day, that would be incredible, and I don't see that happening. Exactly.
No way that's going to happen.
So that's why 24th, I think, right? But that's why, so I totally agree with you in that sense.
I don't know, the release date's something that a lot of people were speculating, obviously, but, I mean, time will tell. So, we'll figure it out soon. But, alright, well, I guess...
Time will tell very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we pretty much covered everything then. For all of you that are watching, thank you so much. And be sure to check GameXplain out down below in the description, and obviously go to the channel and stuff to make amazing videos. Thank you both so much again for, I know we already talked about this beforehand, but for just joining. This was incredible. It's super fun. So thank you just for the conversation.
It was fun too. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having us.
But alright, well, I guess that is it. Thank you all so much for watching. Let us know if you're excited for the Switch down below in the comments, and I will talk to you next time.